Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. And I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect.
Wagwan people, Lumanny here, back again with another episode of the Villa Save here on my channel, and it could be our finale. This is going to start off very quickly, not a lot of time to talk about stuff. We're getting straight in to what could be the deciding leg of our semi-final matchup here against Real Madrid in the Champions League. We have done incredibly well to be in the semi-final of the Champions League in our first season in the Champions League. Obviously we started in the Champions League, so I can't take too much credit for getting us here or anything like that. But to be facing Real Madrid, whoever we faced at this point was going to be tough. I think Real Madrid are probably the tougher. I think we could have maybe given Arsenal a better game. Not sure about Bayern Munich. But yeah, we got Real Madrid anyway. It's going to be a very tough prospect for us, but we do have the first leg at home, so hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of that home crowd and they can get behind us and drive us forward. But we're in here. We're going to see what we can do. I want to give you the full experience, the full immersion of the proper lineups, because this is our biggest game of the season so far for sure. Well, these two games, but this one specifically, because this is where you lay down your foundation to see how the next game's going to go. As we go in here to take a look at the Real Madrid lineup, pretty much what you would expect, besides from Garcia playing in at left back instead of maybe Camavinga. Chouameni, Bellingham, Valverde midfield, very intimidating, and obviously the front three basically just spell out loss. Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. I was scared, I'll be 100% honest with you. I was very intimidated going into this one, and things started off very quickly if you're at Real Madrid from their kickoff. They burst forward here. Matson doesn't quite manage to clear the ball as well as I would have liked him to. They get a corner within the first couple of minutes of the game. It is swung in. We do well to clear that. Alaba pass it to Chouameni, and then it's a good reverse pass from Chouameni. Finds Jude Bellingham. And it would have to be the Birmingham City man, the Birmingham City fan, I'm pretty sure he is. Came from Birmingham City's academy, up against his rivals, quote unquote, or Birmingham City's rivals. And he would put Real Madrid 1-0 up within minutes of the game starting. We didn't deal with the clearance. It's a good reverse pass from Chouameni. And we are 1-0 down. Not really how I wanted to start the tie off, but we were looking to bounce back straight away. It took us a little bit of time to get on the ball, but we do find the ball to Ansu Fati here. He slides in Watkins, and Thibaut Courtois can't close the angle quick enough. Ollie Watkins does bang one into the back of the net, and that gets us back on level terms. Only about, I think it took about 12 minutes, but it didn't take us too long in the end to break through this Real Madrid side. That was a bit of a confidence boost for me, because we had started things poorly. We were struggling a little bit to get a hold of the ball in the first couple of minutes, but that gave me confidence that we would be able to get it. Matson again was having a good start to this game, finds Ollie Watkins. He holds off Rudiger really well, and that strike I thought was going to end up in the top corner, but just on the wrong side of the post. Another corner from Real Madrid a little while afterwards. We had controlled a lot of the ball up to this point. We do lump it forward to Ansu Fati. It's a poor header from him though that finds Jude Bellingham, and Jude Bellingham, it would just have to be him, wouldn't it? It would have to be Jude Bellingham getting 2 goals at Villa Park to put Real Madrid back in the lead of this tie. Again, we didn't defend the space well enough. Bissek coming across late to try and get the block, can't get there. Jude Bellingham would make it 2-1 Real Madrid. Like I say though, we weren't out of this game for sure. We had chances. Again, Watkins breaks through. Pretty much an identical opportunity to the one he had earlier in the game that he buried, but this one doesn't get buried. Another chance for Watkins there. Another miss for Watkins. And you just started to get, I started to get that sense that things weren't going to go our way on this day. Obviously, 1 goal down, Mbappe tries to get through there. We tried to clear it, doesn't quite clear the way I want to, and then a stupid foul from me trying to just quickly snap the ball away from Mbappe. Obviously, a player with his pace, you're not just going to be able to turn on it and get away like that. I should have thought about that before I put the challenge in with Pau Torres. However, I just went to try and clear it as quick as I could. We bring down Mbappe. Pau Torres gets sent off. And we're in a even bigger world of trouble now. It's the 74th minute, I believe. But we are now down to 10 men. Something that I've done a little bit too regularly this season. Something I definitely need to work on not doing. I've gotten way too many red cards in this first season for my liking. Mbappe stands over it. I thought Alaba was going to take it, but no, he dummies it, and then Mbappe finishes it off the underside of the bar to make it 3-1 in the tie, and it's not looking good for us whatsoever. Then Rodrigo bursts past Morgan Rogers. He finds the ball to Valverde. Obviously down to 10 men now. We're struggling. It's a finish there from Freddy Valverde, and at that point the tie is over for us, so I decide we'll just hop to Sim to finish that one off. Unfortunately, it's a 4-1 loss in the first leg. It's looking very unlikely that we're going to be able to take anything from this tie. Obviously, there's every hope that in the second leg that we can get something, but it is at the Santiago Bernabeu, which is going to be a pretty big prospect for us to go there and get the win. On some youth scouting here, we do find a couple decent looking prospects here. One that we signed there from Liberia. Get a good looking right back here from England that we decide to pick up. We leave the rest there. Obviously we don't have a lot of scout reports left now, so we're getting down to the last couple of players that we will sign. We do get a full academy there, so I decided just to leave it for a little bit. I was going to advance, but then I thought I'd go and take a look and see if there's anyone that we can call up straight away, and then take a look at Brandon Davison as well. Got very good potential, 62 already. He is only 5'8", but can play all those attacking wing-back roles plus, which is pretty big for us because obviously that's what we play. Having someone that can already play them is pretty good. He obviously won't be coming into the team straight away at only 62. If he does grow by the end of the season, then maybe if he's like a 64-ish range by the end of the season, we might think about putting him in the rotation. But we are starting to get a decent little crop of youth players coming through. You can see there's a couple players whose potential is starting to drop a little bit, so we'll be keeping an eye on them to see who will be dropped out, because obviously we'll probably get 1 or 2 more prospects before the season finishes. But yeah, back into the league now after our Champions League disappointment. We do have a game against Fulham here. Emi Buendia wanted to play this game, which I think I did decide to do because we would need some rotation. League table there for you to see. We are 1 point behind United at the moment, 1 point in front of Arsenal. So like I said before in previous episodes, that top 4 race is a big battle, especially for 4th place right now. Everyone is in the mix still, basically, from 4th to 6th, I believe it was. So we definitely need to be trying to pick up points. We don't have a lot of games left in this season to try and secure a top 4 spot. So we definitely need to be doing our best to pick up points, especially in games like this one. We did decide to rotate the team a bit here, obviously with one eye on the next leg against Real Madrid in our future as well. So Jackson Price, John Duran and Philogene will be our front 3. Amadou Onana coming into that midfield as well. I think I put Danzo at centre back as well. But yeah, obviously last time we played for them, they got a player sent off pretty early on. So we had not an easy game, but it was an easier game. They did almost spring a comeback, but I think we ended up winning like 4-5-2, something like that. However, this game felt different. Very early on, it was clear that Fulham were playing a lot differently. They were having a lot of possession, they were knocking the ball around, and there was a lot of movement like this. Rodrigo Muniz kept breaking through my back line, and it was starting to worry me a little bit. We then, within about 20 minutes, do manage to get the ball forward. We dribble into the box here, and we are taken down by Joachim Andersen. However, I personally didn't think that this was a penalty. If this had been given against me, I would have been furious. You can see that he barely touches him. Buendia then runs clear of him and then falls over. So what I decided to do, I didn't want the goal from a pen like that, an easy pen that I didn't think was a pen personally. So I decided just to put it wide. You guys let me know if you agree with that or not. I personally just felt it wasn't a pen, so I didn't want to take it. We worked the ball well around again. Buendia gets a shot from the edge of the box, almost curves one top bins, but not quite. Then Amadou Onana takes a good header from a corner, but it's cleared off the line. We were having a lot of attempts, but it was one of those games where it just didn't feel like things were going to fall. And like I said, this kept happening to us. They were breaking through us quite a lot with little intricate passes, little through balls. John Duran, I thought, had stolen one there through a mix-up between the keeper and the centre-back, but doesn't manage to put it in. We do roll one to Morgan Rogers here, which is it's not great for Morgan Rogers. His shooting definitely needs to be improved next season. John Duran takes a long one. Again, it's saved by Leno. And that would be it. We would end up drawing 0-0 with Fulham. So maybe in hindsight I should have just taken the goal from the penalty, but I still think personally for me it wasn't a pen, so I'm fine with it. Both teams having a lot of chances. We dominated majority of the game. But obviously it would mean dropped points. Now, United have hopped up. Spurs have hopped up. So they're now 3 points in front of us. Arsenal didn't play and didn't manage to overtake us at that point. So I'm here. You can see I'm swapping a couple players around on our bench. Kind of getting my priorities in my head of the players that I did want to use. I've decided that I'm just not gelling with Jacob Ramsey. So I'll probably let him go. I'm not really going to use him that much. And then this one was... the decision was made in my head for this leg. If we conceded early, we were just going to jump to sim. And then I conceded that goal. And I just decided, yeah, I'm not winning. I'm 5-1 down. I'm not winning this leg. I'm not winning this tie now. We'll hop into sim. I do swap in a minute because I was like, oh, well, we might as well try out the tactical sim. I've not really seen it myself and not used it a lot. So let's see what it looks like. And I'll be honest, I absolutely hated this. I think this is probably one of the most useless things that has been added to the game in recent years. You just really can't see anything. We get unlucky here. Ansu Fati was offside from a Danso shot that deflected out to him, so we almost got a goal back, which I would have been happy with. I wouldn't have been particularly excited because they're still 4 goals up over us. I did change to then this view where you could see the manager a bit more. You could see our emotions and stuff. Obviously, I know there's the spectate view that you can go on, but I thought like the kind of point in this view is to be like, oh, it's immersive manager mode. Yeah, I just think it's a bit pointless. You really can't see much of what's going on here. What you can see is that Real Madrid have a free kick. I think Mbappe took it and then it gets played back to him here. He manages to get down the wing. Something happens here where it bobbles around. Mbappe gets the ball back and then he finishes it off to make it 6-1 on the aggregate. And I just decided, well, we might as well just sim the rest of this because I can't really see it and I'm not really that interested considering we're not going to make it through. John McGinn did pull a consolation goal back to make it 2-1 on the night, but it is 6-2 in the tie. And unfortunately, our Champions League road will end there. But that does mean that this will now be our season finale of the episode. We will finish these last 4 games in this episode. I'm going to sim one of them, and I think it's the City game I end up choosing because there's 3 really tough games at the end of that, and obviously by this point I'd already played 2 or 3 games, so I was just like, I'm going to sim one that I think I won't win anyway, so we'll just go ahead and sim that. But next up we did have Bournemouth, and I was kind of hoping that we would be able to have a big bounce back in this one, because Obviously, we're disappointed with what's just happened. We're knocked out of the Champions League, but we still have a top 4 spot that we need to fight for. We can still confirm our future in the Champions League if we can take as many points from these next 4 games. And like I say, after this Bournemouth game, we have City, we have Spurs, and we have United. Our record against the top 6 is atrocious this season. So these games against Bournemouth, the one against Fulham, which we didn't pick up points, these are the games we need to be picking up points in. So I was really hopeful in this one that we'd be able to do something. We actually did start this game off pretty well as well. As you'll see here, we do win the ball back early. There was a big gap that kept opening up in their midfield here. It's a very powerful pass from Amadou Onana into the path of Ansu Fati. But Ansu Fati manages to take it on the spin and then bury it. And I was very, very impressed by the touch from Ansu Fati here, because when I saw it fired into him in wet conditions, I was like, there's absolutely no way he's controlling that. But he actually did nicely, even set it up with a bit of a bobble. And he does volley it into the back of the net to give us the 1-0 lead early on, which is definitely what we needed after the disappointment of the Real Madrid games. We were playing pretty well. This, I can't believe still now that Ollie Watkins has not scored that. It's a clear header from him. I know he's at the near post and it's a bit of a tough angle to flick it on, but he should be scoring. Philogene does well here. Finds a bit of space to take the shot, but again, you probably would expect the keeper to save a lot of them. We do give the ball away here very late on in the game. Evan Nelson comes across to try and get it, but it's a good tackle from Bissek. We would then play in Jaden Philogene, who looks like he's through to score, but it's a great tackle from the centre back. That would then unleash the ball to Evan Nelson, who will find Cliver, and then a great ball to Ruben Garcia. But Bissek comes back with an absolutely huge recovery challenge there. And that challenge would earn us all 3 points over Bournemouth. A big 3 points that we need as well. Because like I said, the next 3 games that we've got coming up are incredibly difficult. So we needed to get all 3 coming out of this game. We do manage to do it. It was tougher than I hoped it would be, but it's the bounce back win that I think we needed to get ourselves through to the end of the season, really, and get ourselves a little bit of a bounce following the disappointment of going out of the Champions League at the semi-finals. So yeah, 3 points. We'll check the table in just a second to see what that does for our fortunes. And as you can see, that does put us back level on points with United currently. They still have a game to play. Arsenal game to play behind us as well. So it's not confirmed that we'll stay in even 5th at the moment. Oh no, sorry, we will stay 5th. But we haven't quite leveled things up fully with United yet. Next up we do have City. And this is the game I decided I was just going to take a risk on. And I was just going to sim this one. United won their game anyway, so they were 3 points ahead of us. So we would need United to slip up for us to even get a chance at top 4. Obviously, we played them in the last game of the season, so we would have a chance to take points. And shockingly, we actually managed to take 3 points off of City away from home. They did get a red card through Gundogan. I think it was Ansu Fati and Bailey that scored our goals. So that would put us level on points because United would fail to win their game. So their draw would put us level on points with them going into the last 2 games of the season. Now, a top 4 rival. Number 1 of 2 tough games to finish our season off. We had Spurs at home. Obviously, the last game we played against Spurs, I think they got a red card. And it kind of ran... No, they scored the late equaliser, I think it was. We were 2-1 up and they managed to equalise late on to make it 2-2. So we got a point, which for us and our record against the top 6 was probably good enough. But at this point in the season, with top 4 on the line, with them being a direct rival for the top 4, but they're the team that have got a little bit of breathing room, this is a game that I really want to try and take 3 points from. I knew it wasn't going to be easy against Spurs because they're a quality side. They pretty much have been leading that like 4-team race the whole season, so we knew we were going to have to really fight to try and get points off of them here. But we are back at home. We showed some decent football against Bournemouth. We have been dominating a lot of the ball recently, so I thought if we played to our best, we'd stand a chance. Nice little chip ball over the top here early on, finds Ansu Fati. He then cuts back inside, goes for the shot, but it's deflected for an easy catch from Vicario. Timo Werner was tormenting Matty Cash. I go for the foul here, but Son would pick it up. Matty Cash would fail to put a tackle in. It would then be rolled across to Maddison, who had a one-on-one, but Martinez gets a big hand to it. Matty Cash would pick up a yellow card, unfortunately, because obviously I tried to take down Timo Werner. Didn't work out. From the corner, I could see him lurking in there. I thought we would win the header, but it ends up being Ollie Watkins up against Mickey van der Ven. And Mickey van der Ven just absolutely outpowers Ollie Watkins away from the ball. And Spurs make it 1-0 from the corner. Disappointing for us because we actually hadn't started this one too bad. We'd had a lot of the ball. A corner from a really stupid attack that we should have dealt with. And they score a goal. Going into the second half, it was a second corner for Spurs, and Romero would do the same thing to make it 2-0. And then Spurs pretty much took control of a big majority of the game after that. We do have a little bit of possession here in the second half. Maatsen finds a good ball through to Ollie Watkins. He chips it over Vicario, but it would turn out that Ollie Watkins would make his run too early. So unfortunately, that goal wouldn't stand. I don't think you can actually see the line very well. Or you can just about see it there, but they cut it off just before, so I don't know how offside he was. And at hurdle number 1, to secure our future in the Champions League, we would fall. You can see Spurs had all the opportunities. We had more possession, but we just didn't make it count. However, our one bit of solace, United only got a draw from their game, which means going into the final game of the season, United sat in 4th, us sat in 5th, we would have a chance, if we could take all 3 points off United, to finish in the Champions League. So this game just became a whole lot more important. Unfortunately, it's a game that's away from home at Old Trafford that we have to try and go into their backyard and take 3 points off of them. This is to really seal our season as a good season. Obviously, semi-finals of the Champions League. We didn't do anything else in any of the domestic cups. We need to be finishing well in the league. Ideally, Champions League football next season. But it wasn't going to be a simple prospect. Last time we played United, they absolutely dismantled us. So I knew we were going to have to show up and be our best to get anything out of this game. Not even just a win, just to even be in the game. Because like I said, we got absolutely dismantled last time we played against them. So yeah, you could say I was feeling the pressure. I might have been feeling the pressure more in this game than I was feeling against Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Champions League. But again, I want to give you the full presentation package to let it sink in just how big of a game this was for us. So on to the lineups. We would see the United 4-2-3-1, which we were expecting. Unai Simon in goal. Nuno Mendes, Lenny Yoro, Martinez, Dalot, Palacios Ugarte, Fernandes, Rashford, Diallo and Depay. We would have our best team for this one, I'm pretty certain. I was really enjoying Bissek at the back, so I was playing him a lot more in these last couple of games. He kind of, I don't know what it is, he just kind of fits that profile player that I really enjoy playing with. I haven't quite gelled as well with Danzo yet, but I'm hoping that's still to come. But this was a big one. We started things off very well. We came forward here with Hatate into camera. Unfortunately, the shot from Hatate isn't a great one in the end. He kind of toe pokes it towards goal. Bissek would then, after the praise I've been giving him, make a big slip up here, passing the ball into the midfield. It would fall to Fernandes, who would take a shot, but it's a very good save from Emi Martinez. You saw in there as well, I put one of those stupid tackles in again that I do all the time. Great cross here to find Ansu Fati. However, the header from Ansu Fati not quite living up to the standard of the cross. We would press United though in 23rd minute, and they would make a mistake. The ball will fall to Rio Hatate, and he would make up for his earlier weak shot, and he would finish it off to give us the 1-0 lead at Old Trafford. Now obviously that was pretty huge for us to get the lead in this game. We had been actually contending with United pretty well so far in this game, so my confidence was growing. The goal really helped me feel like, okay, we can get something from this game. I believe in us now. I think we can do it. Hatate, good finish. Good press from the boys as well to put United under pressure, to force the mistake out. We were playing well in this one. We would give the ball away again though. Agate would find the ball to Dalot. He would find Ahmad. Ahmad was just kind of holding the ball, and I was kind of content with this. I was like, that's fine, just keep it there. But then I would make a big mistake here, bringing across Maatsen too wide. I would let Bruno Fernandes sneak in behind us, and he would equal things up just before the 40th minute. I'll take full blame for that one. I needed to not pull Maatsen out so wide and maybe switch to Dan so earlier on. Kind of think I was relying a little bit on the AI to defend a bit too much for me in that one. So yeah, a bit of a mistake on my part, but it is what it is. Into the second half, like I said, I felt confident that we could get something. We were playing well. Nice little chip ball into Watkins here. He would show great strength, holding it up really well, but the shot would get deflected in the end over to a corner for us that we would swing in. Unfortunately, that would be cleared as well. I was starting to think maybe I needed to change things up, but I hold off on it, and it's a good decision because Ollie Watkins would find himself planted in the middle, and he would plant a powerful header past Unai Simon in the 53rd minute to give us a lead once again at Old Trafford. You can't really hear our fans. I think they're being drowned out a little bit by the shock and silence of the United fans maybe, but they were cheering. You could see them in the corner, they were going nuts. 2-1 up and cruising at the moment. It felt like we were going to take this one home, until once again I decide to make a really stupid decision and make our lives much harder than it needs to be, and get Boubacar Kamara sent off for really no reason. However, we would manage to hold United at bay until the 85th minute, where a good cross would come in from Depay. However, luckily for us, Bruno Fernandes was facing the wrong way, and that would be the only threat that they would manage to carve out. We would win away at Old Trafford on the final day of the season to leapfrog Manchester United into 4th place. We would secure Champions League football for next season, beating Manchester United away from home. I mean, I couldn't have asked for much more for the end of the season from the boys, to be honest. That is an absolutely huge performance from us, a huge result, maybe the most important of our whole season so far, because that secured our place in the Champions League for next season. Absolutely massive performance away from home. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for more, really, I couldn't, especially after I got Kamara sent off for no reason. I really I loved that performance because it showed our heart and our guts to be in there. You can see they dominated possession, but they only had 2 chances. They scored one of them, but only had 2 chances, and there's the confirmation. 2 points above United, 3 points behind Spurs, into the top 4. We would hold off Chelsea, we'd hold off United, and we would hold off Arsenal. We would finish in 4th place. Then we do the season rundown here. Carabao Cup goes to United over Newcastle. The FA Cup went to City over Newcastle. So Newcastle making it to 2 domestic finals, which is pretty huge for them. And then I saw this, and this devastated me because Arsenal are in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, meaning if they win, there is a chance that we don't get Champions League football next season, because they would take the 4th spot off of us and we would drop down into the Europa League. That was absolutely heart-wrenching stuff. So I became a Real Madrid fan at this point, and I was keeping everything crossed that Real Madrid would beat Arsenal so that we could secure ourselves a Champions League spot for next season, because it could be taken away from us. This would be our final lot of youth scouting for this season as well. I just cleared a lot of things up here. We then decide to call up Davison and Winter, and Amos as well. I think we'll try and get them loans. Oh, and even Yeboah. I forgot we called up Yeboah as well. We will try and get them loans out. We had a couple good looking players here. Sean French has 78 potential coming out. So I was like, oh, he could be a huge player for us. So he got called up straight away. I think then we had one here from England that I wanted to call up, and then we got 2 here from England that I wanted to call up, but I think the Liberian guys had slightly higher overalls coming out, whereas the potential on the 2 English guys was better. The overalls on these 2 were better, so I decided to go for these 2. I then decided to go back and see if Sean French is like at the point where he's ready to be called up straight away. And I think eventually we do call Sean French straight up because he's 64 rated. I couldn't call anyone else up because our actual squad was completely full, but I do manage to work it, release a couple boys, and then we call up the last 2. And here it is, our stats for the season. Top 2 appearance makers were Emi Martinez and Matty Cash. Ollie Watkins, obviously, far and away our top goal scorer of the season. 37 goals in all competitions. Leon Bailey was second with 12. Ansu Fati, who only came in January, managed to come in third with 10. So I can't wait to see what he can do for us next season, because he's going to be an absolute baller for us, I'm hoping. There's the rundown of the rest. Boubacar Kamara making a lot of appearances for us as well. Unfortunately, there's one player that's missing from there, and he's underneath the loan players. And that is a man by the name of Jacob Ramsey, who doesn't score a single goal for us this season and only gets 5 assists. Disappointing first season for him. I was hoping he's going to be a much bigger player for us. Amadou Onana is another one I don't really know what to do with currently. I'm a big fan of him, but I want him more as a rotational player, and I don't think he's going to be happy with that role. So we'll have to see what happens next season. Ollie Watkins does come tied in the Golden Boot race with Erling Haaland. However, I think he should take it because he did it in 3 less games than Erling Haaland. So I think he should take it. Top assist maker was Jack Grealish. Can't remember who was second. We were in 10th and 11th. We do lose out on the Golden Glove to Alisson. And unfortunately, we end the season with 4 players on the red card list, which I think is the highest I've ever had in any season. Top goal scorer in the FA Cup was Fernandez. It was Depay in the Carling Cup. Not Carling Cup, Carabao Cup. I'm so old. Erling Haaland comes first in the Golden Boot race in the Champions League. Surprisingly, Ollie Watkins was actually second, which was quite cool to see. We were also second in the Golden Glove race for the Champions League. So we performed well. You can see Olympiacos' striker came top of the top goal scorers in there. I think it was Fiorentina's striker came top of the top goal scorers in the Conference League. And then I decided we'll go around the leagues, we'll see who's coming up. So Burnley and Leeds have won automatic promotion. Luton, Watford, Sheffield and Hull will all enter the playoffs to see who joins them. My money is probably on Luton out of all of them. Oxford, Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday will be relegated to League One, where Birmingham and Rotherham will come up automatically. Didn't see who the playoffs was. You can see Cambridge, Stockport, Crawley and Burton are all down. MK Dons, Notts County, Crewe, Alexandra coming up. And if it did count, I think Accrington would be the team relegated. Only 27 points from them. Arsenal will win the Barclays Women's Super League. PSG absolutely smashing Ligue 1, which you would pretty much expect, to be fair. In the French Women's League, PSG just about winning that league. They were level on points but won it on goal difference. Wolfsburg winning the female Bundesliga. The Bundesliga goes to Bayern Munich, which you would expect again. Serie A, I believe, goes to Inter. It does, over Roma by 4 points. Juventus only mustering a 4th place finish with Milan below them. PSV win the Eredivisie, which was interesting to see. Feyenoord, Ajax following them. La Liga would go to Barcelona. Real Madrid only finishing 4th, even though they made it to the Champions League final. Liga F would also go to Barcelona. So yeah, a lot of expected winners, I would say, going on around the rest of the leagues, and that's basically it. We're just going to get to the end of the season here. Ollie Winter going out on loan. We would get the Ghana national team offer. You guys let me know if you want to see national team tournaments, but I'm probably not going to show that much. We will send a scout out to Ghana just because I like to do that and find my players for the national teams. In a minute, you're going to see something. We start looking at the news just to see what's happening as we wrap up the season. Sancho wins Player of the Month for the last month of the season. So we Ghana officials talking to us. Got players that I've put out on loan list, just the youth players. Player of the Month there. And there it is. The devastating confirmation that unfortunately, even though we fought as hard as we did, even though we had that great performance to finish the season off, we will be in the Europa League next season. Arsenal did manage to pip Real Madrid to the Champions League, so they will take our 4th spot. It's devastating because we did so well to finish things off. However, that's the way that things fall in football. Team of the season, we do get Pau Torres, Matty Cash in there. I think we were shortchanged. Obviously, I don't know how Haaland's in there. He finished in 2nd to Ollie Watkins in the Golden Boot race. Yeah, I don't know how that's worked out, but sure, we definitely should have won that. I also forgot to say Liverpool won the league overall. So that is that. We finished 4th, which obviously is Europa League now. We've reached semi-finals of the Champions League, but we will hope to secure it again next season. And I hope to see you for Season 2 very soon. Peace.